Hi guys, and welcome back to another video Gaming with Powers. I'm Jake, and to back or not to back? That is the question if you are in the hobby of board games and looking at new games, right? Should I back this game? Should I not back this game? If this is your first time watching one of these videos from me, guys, basically in these to back or not to back games, I'll be covering the Kickstarter campaign of a new board game that usually has about 7 to 12 days left. I'll be showing off the game to you guys, the game on the page, and then as well as I'll be giving you my thoughts and opinions, right? So I'll be telling you what I like about the game, what you might like about the game, what I don't like about the game, kind of what are my hesitations or what some hesitations you might have, and then am I backing the game and should you back the game, all right? For today's game, we're going to be taking a look at Terrorscape. So this game has gotten a lot of buzz recently. Terrorscape is a one versus many hidden movement board game. And so it's got a horror theme to it where there's a killer and then there's survivors. So very interesting game. Looks pretty cool. And again, like I said, it's generating a lot of buzz right now. So let's go ahead and jump. Let's take a look at the computer screen where I got the Kickstarter page pulled up for us. All right, so here we are at the top of the page, guys. This is Terrorscape, the immersive horror board game for 2 to 4 players, which is a one versus many hidden movement board game with classic horror movie vibes, right? This has 11 days to go. It's 3,904 backers, and it has raised $593,000. So this is coming to you from Ice Makes Games. So looking at Ice Makes Games, guys, they have a couple different projects: Morpho, Age of Galaxy, Age of Civilization. Age of Galaxy and Age of Civilization are their big ones, and a lot of their games do actually hold their value. It's still holding their value, but this is kind of a big jump up for them in terms of price point and way different theme. But you can see here, this is what the full scope of the game is going to look like. You're going to have the miniatures, you're going to have player boards, you're going to have cards. There's going to be a giant mansion, cardboard mansion in the middle of this the game board that'll kind of separate it like Battleship. And so again, it's a Terrorscape. It is an immersive team-based horror game for 2 to 4 players. Players can take on the role of the killer or the survivors. During the game, the bloodthirsty killer hunts down one of the survivors, while the survivors try their best to dodge away from danger, scavenge resources, escape, or make a rescue call. Either way, Terrorscape is not for those who fear. Get ready to pit your wit against each other as you journey through the new world of thrills and trills. All right. So the base pledge here is going to run you about $75. The gameplay all in about $140, and the deluxe all in around $248. Okay. So again, what is Terrorscape? And I'll kind of dive more into it once I give this explanation. So what is Terrorscape? Again, like I said, it's a one versus many game. One person is going to be playing the killer, and then you can have up to 3 people playing an individual survivor, or if there's only one other person, that person's playing the 3 survivors, right? The objective of the killer is to kill at least one survivor, right? So his goal is to find one survivor, at least kill one survivor. He becomes the winner of the game, and the survivors will lose. The survivor's objective is to go around the game board and find 5 keys in certain rooms. And so you have to be in a certain room, and you have to search and draw cards from a deck. And if you draw a key, then you'll put that up on top of the cardboard mansion. And so once you find 5 keys, you can go to the spot on the board that has the exit, and you can get up out of there, all right? There's also a secret exit that you can exit out as well if you find the map. The other way is there's a room that has a radio in it, and you can go there and use an action to repair the radio. You'll need to repair the radio 5 times to give it 5 gears, and then you can make the call. From that point, it's going to take 5 turns, or 5 rounds, and after 5 rounds, if the killer has not killed at least one survivor, you guys, the survivors, will be able to escape. I think it's like you call the police, you radio in the police, and they come and save you. So those are the win conditions for the killer and the loss conditions for the survivor, okay? And that's pretty much how the game works, right? There's going to be a screen that divides both people, so the killer side, he's not going to know. The only information he's going to know is what he can deduce and gather. And so he's going to be playing cards and trying to do that. And he must announce where he is moving when he moves. On the survivor side, they're going to be able to see where the killer is at. They're going to have a killer miniature to pinpoint him. And then they're going to be moving around the board. And the only time they will announce to the killer when something happens is like if they go through a barricade or a blocked door or if they draw cards, sometimes it'll make a noise, and so they'll have to put a noise token down and announce, like, I have made some noise in the hallway or the dining hall or whatever. And so then that'll give information to the killer, all right? But that's how it works. So let's kind of take a look, scrolling down the page a little more, looking at some of the killers, right? So we have the Butcher, right? He's all about brute strength, and he can barricade doors. You have the Spectre, which is going to be feeding on fear. She wants to scare you in order to do damage. And then you have the Murderer, which kind of looks like V for Vendetta, a cybernetic version of him. He's going to be using stealthy attacks and be able to hide himself and then like pop up out of nowhere, right? Those are the 3 killers in the base game. And then in the first expansion, you'll get the Werewolf, which is a nimble fighter and hyper responsive to sound, as well as the Huntress, who is a master of traps and skilled at locating targets. In the second expansion, you have Amorphous Peril. You're going to get the Unidentified, who can travel through secret passages and evolve with time. Or you're going to get the Strangler, something out of Stranger Things, right? Which can regenerate and entangle different targets. That is the second expansion. And the third expansion is going to be the Lethal Immortals, which are going to be statues, which are able to disguise themselves perfectly like a statue and maneuver like an army. So those are all the killers in the game. The survivors, you have Annie Kubrick the Student, which is low profile and discreet, good at concealing herself, rarely makes a sound when scared. William Hooper the Athlete, skilled at hand-to-hand combat, good at sprinting, makes noise while running. Marco Carvin the Doctor, resourceful and calm, equipped with a medical kit, has healing abilities. Johnson Nisper the Engineer, the XL backpack with unlimited storage and skilled at repairing radios. And Sophia Scott the Detective, who is ingenious and detail-oriented, skilled at searching, and petite enough to travel through secret passages. So these are going to be the 5 survivors in the base game, and then if you get expansion number 3, you will unlock George Carpenter the Professor, who is extremely observant and skilled at identifying enemies' weaknesses, alright? So taking a look at some more of the game, guys, this is the giant screen here that I'm talking about. Now, what's cool here is this cardboard screen also serves as a built-in dice tower. And again, it's going to serve as a round counter for the rescue on this side. The survivors will put their health trackers and fear trackers up here, so the killer has access to see who he's damaged and where their status is. And then it will also serve as a key stand, so the killer knows how many keys these survivors need left. And this is kind of how the setup would work, right? On one side, you have the survivors play area. On the other side, you will have the killer's area. So you're separating it kind of like a battleship, all right? Looking at the maps, the map in the base game is the mansion. The map in expansion number 1 is the cabin. The map in expansion number 2 is the laboratory, and expansion number 3 is going to be the castle. So with each expansion, you're going to get new maps and new hunters. And then in the third expansion, not only do you get a new map, to make up for only having one hunter or a killer, you're going to have a survivor as well, all right? So looking at what's inside the game, right, in the base game, you have the dice tower with the screen, you have the map boards, the 6 miniatures, right? You will get one, and the survivors will get one. The 5 survivors, the boards, you get organizer trays, you get a bunch of cards, dice, and then tokens that pertain to the game, right? In all the expansions, you'll get the map boards for the new map, you'll get the miniatures, and you'll get all the tokens and things associated with all of these expansions that you can see here. All right. The next thing they have available is the Kickstarter exclusive Collector's Big Box, where you'll be getting play mats for everything, and deluxe token upgrade packs, as well as an art book. So the deluxe token pack number 1, you'll just get cardboard standees of like the barricades and things like that. And then the deluxe token pack number 2, you will get acrylic tokens instead of cardboard tokens. But this again is going to run you, and you also get a big box. This will run you $248, even though things fit in there very nicely. And you also get your name on the inside, but again, that's $248, all right? So this just kind of tells you how to play, which I kind of already wrapped that up. Looking at the stretch goals, not a lot of great stretch goals here, guys. It's just extra cards, some oak token upgrades a little bit. They add in, some interior box art, again, more cards, another token upgrade, and then they added in 2 variants. So one variant, which is I Got a Plan, where the survivor can carry out plans to gain an immediate benefit or unlock extra abilities, right? That's kind of cool. And then the next variant where it's a semi-co-op, so the survivors don't win or lose as a team. The killer can eliminate more than one survivor in a game, right? Really bringing in that more Dead by Daylight feel here with that variant. But other than that, it's just extra playing cards and extra cards in general, all right? Continue to move through. We got videos. Again, here's the pledges: 75 for the base, 139 for the gameplay all-in, and 250 for the deluxe. All right. For optional buys, each expansion is going to be 25 bucks that you can pick up. These are not Kickstarter exclusive, so it does sound like they'll be coming to retail. The deluxe playmat expansions are Kickstarter exclusive. You can pick these up for $18 a piece, as well as the token upgrades are Kickstarter exclusive, as well as the art book in the big box. All right. And then the final thing, guys, that I'm going to share with you is the shipping. So 19 bucks for the base pledge, 24 for the all-in, and then 36 for the deluxe all-in. All right. So this is Terrorscape in a nutshell, guys. So let's kind of talk about the game and what are my thoughts. So I think the thing that I like about the game and what you're going to like about the game is right off the bat is the theme and the mechanics, right? So the theme, it's got that horror-based theme, right? It's got that Dead by Daylight feel, okay, right? The feel of you have 4 characters, or no, I'm sorry, not 4 characters, 3 characters. The feel of you have 3 characters with 1 killer. The killer's trying to hunt down the survivors. The survivors are trying to survive and escape. And so it really brings in that horror theme with a Dead by Daylight feel, right? Now, mechanically speaking, this is what I wish Dead by Daylight was. Now, I did not back Dead by Daylight, and the reason for that was because I looked at it and I wanted the video game feel, right? And the game of Dead by Daylight did not give me that, right? How that worked, the original Dead by Daylight game, how that worked was basically everybody, the killer and the survivors, got to see everything that was happening on the board. And so there really was no hidden movement to the game. And that's what excited me about the Dead by Daylight video game, was that there's that anxiety and that fear, that excitement that you're going around a map, you have no idea where the killer is, you're trying to accomplish a task, but look out for him, and when he would get close, it'd be like that doom, 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 that noise, like, and you know he's close, and you're like, oh crap, dude, where am I at? Like, that excitement of the game is why I like Dead by Daylight. I didn't really feel that when I was looking at the Dead by Daylight game, because there was no hidden movement. You got to see where all the survivors were, the survivor got to see where you were, and it was basically like I could just run away and do what I needed to do. And so the way they kind of got around it was everybody had cards that would move you in a certain direction. And so everybody would play a card face down, including the killer, and y'all would all flip over those cards. Like, you would take your turns flipping over the cards, and then the killer had to guess where you were essentially going, but all the information was out there in front of everybody. With this game, it brings that battleship feel to it where you're split. So what you don't have, the only information you have on your side is what you're getting from that side, and vice versa, right? But as the killer, you actually have less information. The survivors have more information than you do, because the survivors get your mini and you have to announce where you're going to be. You have to try and guess where the survivors are. So it's kind of cool in that aspect. This is giving me the Dead by Daylight feel that I wanted in that board game. And so that's what I think you guys are really going to like about it, the mechanics, right? And so it looks like a fun game, from not only a 2-player game where it's 1v1, because it's simple enough where that one player can play those 3 characters, but it's also fun enough to where you can grab 2 other people and play 3v1 or 1v3, and I think you're still going to have a great time. So that's the first, 1 and 1.5 things that I think you're going to like about the game, is the theme and how the mechanics fit into it. So the second thing I think you're going to like about the game is just the components and the way the game was constructed. And what I mean by that is that big screen that you have in the middle, not only is it just like not only is it a blockade, but it also serves a great purpose, right? It's a dice tower. You're going to be able to put the cards of the health trackers of the survivors on there so you can see them. Like, it serves a purpose, and it's very aesthetically pleasing on the table, as well as the components in there. The miniatures look great. You're getting token trays in there to hold everything. You get engraved dice. So all of that, the production of the game is very, very nice, okay? And the last thing I think that might interest you is the value of the game, right? I think, yes, the game does have a high price point at $75, but after looking at looking at some of the games that this company has made, all of their games tend to hold their value. Like Age of Civilization came out in 2019. That was a $27 game if you backed it on Kickstarter. It's $27 right now on Amazon. The game has held its value. And I think this game has so much buzz and is like gonna be the new hot flavor when it comes out, that if you do get the game and you don't like it, you're gonna be able to sell it and still get your money back or get value from the game, okay? Now, how is that value gonna hold over time? I can't predict that, but looking at the games that they previously made, it's gonna look like, you know, those games have held their value well, so this one might hold its value also. So that's what I think you're gonna like about the game. So let's talk about things you might not like. So the first thing, guys, is going to be the theme of the game, right? I feel like this is going to be a very niche theme, right? The horror genre, the killer genre, you know, hunting people down. Not everybody likes that. That's off-putting to a lot of people, or it's just not people's cup of tea. And so again, I feel like this is going to be a very niche game. And so if you're not into this theme and you're not into the mechanic of one versus many, then this is a pass for you, right? But like, if this game and the mechanics kind of interest you, I think that's a kind of good spot. But for I can see people not liking the game just because of the theme, all right? The second thing is the mechanics of the game. So looking at the mechanics, I do think there's a hesitation here with the rule of that all the killer has to do is eliminate one survivor and the survivors lose, right? I can see how that can be a lot of, that's a hesitation for me, because I can see how that can be upsetting to a lot of people. Because if I'm playing with two other people and we have one person who's not the best at board games and they're constantly making bad decisions and it's, you know, hurting us, and we lose because they end up dying, like, I'm going to be kind of frustrated about that because, you know, I want to win. So I can see how, you know, again, I want a game that's going to give me that Dead by Daylight vibe. As the killer, you're supposed to eliminate all the survivors, and then, like, I can see the win as a team, lose as a team, being off-putting to some people. Now, again, I said in these stretch goals, there is a variant that makes it semi-co-op, so the killer has to eliminate everybody, and one person can get away and be the winner. And so, like, I think the game would operate a lot better by that. Again, I didn't create the game. It got play tested for a reason. Maybe they originally had it and changed it, but why I say that is because that way, at the end of the day, everybody kind of feels like a winner, right? So, like, if I'm the killer and I kill two people, even though I get beat, I'm like, hey, I eliminated two people. I didn't win the game overall, but I was close. And then as the survivor, you're like, woo, I escaped. Like, whoop-de-doo. And so, like, it's kind of that kind of aspect, right? And that's kind of how it was when I was playing Dead by Daylight. Like, hey, look, I killed 3 people instead of killing the last guy. The last guy won, but the survivors won overall. But, like, I still enjoyed myself because I got to at least kill 2 people instead of, like, just going in there and not be able to get everybody and everybody escapes. So that's pretty. That's kind of a hesitation. The next thing is the price point. So $75 price point. Look, this is a pretty hefty price point. And to be honest here, you're not getting a whole lot of stuff, right? Yes, the miniatures look good, but you're only getting 11 miniatures. I feel like you're primarily paying here for this giant cardboard screen in the middle of the board, and then basically the trays. That's it. And like probably whatever the material the game board itself is made out of, right? That's primarily what you're paying for. And so, you know, it's going to cost you a pretty penny to chunk this game out. So the price point I can see is a hesitation because, look, that's a pretty hefty price point for the game. The last thing I can see, guys, is this one's going to kind of be a stretch, but this is kind of one of my worries here, is that the screen itself, right? How big is that thing going to be? Is it going to be durable enough? Because I'm going to have to be disassembling it and assembling it every time I get the game out and every time I put it back in the box. Number one, is that going to be annoying to get out every single time? And how long is it going to take me to set that up? Is that going to be a deterrent? Because if that's going to take a while to set up, you know, this game is going to be off for me. And then, like, taking it apart and putting it together, how durable is that going to be? Is there going to be, what is the wear and tear going to be? And what happens if the board gets ripped, slashed, cut, whatever? Like, are you going to be able to get a replacement screen or a board? So that's a hesitation for me. So what should you guys do? What am I doing? Okay. Well, look, I think you guys should give this game a try, right? Yes, that $75 price point is pretty hefty, but I do think this game is garnering enough buzz and will have enough buzz still when the game comes out that if you do get it and you don't like it, that you're going to be able to get your money back for it, right? So just trying it at the $75 price point, I think is worth it, right? The expansions, they're all coming to retail. Obviously, my guess would be that they're $25 here. They're going to be coming to retail at a lot higher price point, maybe 40 bucks. So if you're kind of on the fence where you know you might enjoy this game, it might be better off and worth it for you to go with the deluxe all-in pledge for $140 to get all those expansions, so you don't have to pay $40 for them later if you do end up enjoying the game. And again, like I said, I do think at that $140 price tag, yes, it's expensive, but if you don't enjoy the game, it's going to be enough for you to get your money's worth, okay? So what am I doing, guys? Like I recommended to you guys, I am trying this game. I'm going to get the $75 base pledge as of right now. I'm on the fence for the all-in because, again, this game is giving me that Dead by Daylight feel. It's giving me what I love, and like I can see me wanting to continuously come back to this game and play a lot of those other killers or have, you know, play as the survivors. And so on the different maps and all that stuff, it looks great as a whole, as a production. But again, I'm not really sure. But this is a game I do want to try to see if I like. And so, like, where I'm on the fence is like, man, like, I don't want to not get the all-in pledge and I end up loving the game and then I got to spend like 40 bucks for all of the other expansions, and then I end up paying way more money in the long run, or it's just I get the all-in right now, and if I don't like the game, again, like, I do believe I would be able to get my value back. But that's kind of where I'm at. Right now, I've got the all-in back. I've got 11 more days to decide if I want to go for the all-in gameplay. But again, I think this game is worth it, guys. This game is worth a look. It's worth a back to try it. This is a very unique game. It mixes like Battleship and Clue and some of the other different things. It's getting a lot of buzz. And so I definitely see this being an enjoyment game, not only from a 1v1 perspective, like a 2-player perspective, but also from a 3 or 4-player perspective. But all right, guys, well, look, that's what I'm doing. Those are some of the things I like and don't like about the game. As always, guys, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when more content drops. And if you are not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Help support us so we can keep bringing you more awesome content. All right, guys, y'all have a great one. Bye.